Hello, my name is Emily Weingart, and I wanted to thank you for coming in today. Before we begin, I wanted to start off with confidentiality, and so everything will stay between us and my supervisor, and the only things I have to report is that if you're going to harm yourself or others, if someone is abusing you or if you're abusing others. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right. So, what brings you in, Lydia? Or what do you want to talk about today? Anything.
I don't know. I guess. Well, the semester's coming to an end.
Yeah.
So, stress is just kind of starting to build up. Just getting things done, and then, so I'm the student conductor in choir at the university choir, and so this is my last semester, and I just I'm trying to get used to the fact that I have to kind of step away and let somebody else come in and kind of take over everything that I've kind of built up in the last year and a half, and so dealing with that happened. A little bit of that happened today. And then balancing, working with my practicum, dealing with the students there. And, so I was observed on Monday, and I'm being observed again tomorrow. And Monday wasn't necessarily a great experience, so I'm hoping that tomorrow's going to be better, but that's just stressful, and I just want to go home and just just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of interesting because it's my senior year, so I'm excited to be done, but then at the same time some things are coming to an end, and it's kind of sad that it's ending. So choir's ending, I finished my recital, so I'm still seeing my professor, but this is the last time I'm going to see her for voice lessons, and this is the last semester I'm taking full classes, and so I'm going to live here next semester, but I'm not even going to be here during the day at all, and so I don't know, everything is rapidly ending for me, so
I'm hearing a lot of things from you. So with going with your choir, actually, everything's all about transitions, right? And how it's very uncertain, and you enjoyed what has happened for the past 3.5 years, and then there's something new that's going to come up soon.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, and with your choir, it almost sounds like you have a sense of pride of what you've built up, and then handing over that control to someone else. That must be really tough.
Yeah. I think also I've grown so much in just the short period of time that I've been there, and have incorporated, so many things, and have tried to put things in place to make it better. And I think I'm a little controlling it, I kind of don't necessarily want to give up my baby, so,
yeah.
I also feel I'm not finished yet, so, I want to, hold on to it, but I'm out of time, and I just have to move on and let somebody else kind of take over and finish it for me. But it's a little hard to let go of what I've already done and what I have.
You've spent so much time, and to also see the progress with your students in there too, and probably with student teaching as well, you've seen that too. How do you think that will be for next semester? Do you see that pattern happening again?
I think it'll be interesting, because I see it even in this semester working with the high schoolers. I don't have a lot of time with them, but I'm starting to really enjoy being there, even though we have bad days.
Mm-hmm.
I do really like what I do, and I kind of wish I could be there more to kind of incorporate. I have a lot of ideas, and but yeah, it'll be interesting next semester because my first placement, which is with the older kids, where I'll be working with like actual choirs and stuff, is shorter than the second placement. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And I'm a little hesitant. I said to you last night about show choir.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are huge in show choir, and I don't have any experience in show choir, so I'm a little hesitant. I'll see how it goes. I'm kind of jumping into the fire with them, so we'll see. I don't know. I think I'll love working with the kids, so I think that's what it's going to come down to, but then it'll be sad too, because then I'll have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It stinks. I just wish I just had my own place where the kids are mine, and and I don't have to leave them. Yeah.
But, yeah. So if you had all the time in the world, because you kept mentioning if I only had more time, what will more time look like for you?
More time I would just continue to adapt and continue to make changes to further improve like singers in the university. To further improve them, to continue to work with them. It's kind of sad because I love watching the growth. Like I see so much growth myself when I look back, but I also love seeing growth in other people. And I can remember last year some of my freshmen who I worked with, and then this year they're sophomores, and like how far they've come and how some of them have stepped up as leaders and stuff. So now I've only been there for a semester, and I've already connected with some freshmen. It's like, oh no, I want to stick around to see you grow. I want to be there for it, and I can't. Mm-hmm. I just would continue to build relationships. I want to develop a community in singers where not only do we push for excellence in what we do in our music, but we also push for we also just care for each other. I want to build this sense of community where we have leaders who step up, we have friends who will just take time to pray for one another, even in rehearsal time. And like, we're getting there, we're getting to this, but it's not there yet. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could stick around for it.
But you laid down the foundations for that, right?
Yeah.
And so you have a really strong value in developing, while it either be like with relationships or the actual person with their skills and how they've grown. It seems like that's really important for you.
Yeah.
And then, what do you think you'll do that for student teaching next semester?
Student teaching will be kind of a beast of its own, because my main goal will be first to just kind of immerse myself in their culture and their community. It's different to compare it to singers because I'm already a part of the IWU community.
Okay.
But this is me, like, I'm an outsider going into a different school district. So this will be a time for me to actually have to immerse myself in how they do things and then building relationships. And then I think that's, like, going to be the biggest struggle because to me, teaching is not hard to me. Like, instruction and teaching and planning, like, comes easy to me. But it's only effective when you can relate and when you have that trust with students and with parents and with administrators and everybody. So I think the biggest thing will be trying to build this relationship with the students in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, you realize that it's beyond the whole just marking off papers, and you really have to invest and build a rapport with one another, and it's not just the students, like you said. I've with experience with schools and others, like you really have to get to know like the administrators and parents. It's a whole ecosystem too. It is not an individualistic community as well. It's sorry, that was contradicting, but yeah. But yeah, and so you realize, it sounds like you realize that you're still taking that sense of value of developing into the semester for student teaching, but you realize that it looks different. It's going to be different than what you've had with singers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll be interesting, and most of that relationship building is stuff that kind of happens more outside of the classroom anyway. I mean, part of it does happen in the day-to-day classroom, but a lot of it comes to, you know, did I go to the football game? You know, did I show up for, you know, whatever, you know, track meet or whatever it is, you know, was I there? You know, are students going to see me around? Am I going to be sticking around for, you know, extra rehearsals, for pep rallies, for, you know what I mean? Like, they want to know that I'm committed to who they are and to where they are and to that whole community. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's just going to be different. It's going to be a time of transitioning, and then it'll be sad because I probably know that then I'll start to get attached, and then I'll have to leave, and then I'll move on to the elementary kids. And I'll have a little bit more time with them, but not as much ensemble time. It'll be more in class stuff. It'll be interesting. Yeah, senior year. And then I'm getting married.
Wow.
and I'm already trying to figure out that beast. That's another beast of its own. Wedding planning. Especially because we're highly budgeting a lot. We're not trying to spend the least amount of money as possible because we're pretty much paying for it ourselves. So, yeah. So that's another thing too.
So again, lots of transitions.
Lots of transitions, yes.
Yeah, but a sooner transition. You said that your observation is tomorrow.
Yes.
So how is that going? Like, you said that Monday did not go well, and you expressed that you weren't graded fairly for that. And so, what is your goal for tomorrow?
Well, fortunately for me, tomorrow I'm being observed in a different class.
Oh, okay.
So I won't have the same class that I had on Monday. So, I mean, there's still, like, behavior things to consider with this other class, but I know them, I don't want to say I know them better, because I've seen all of them about the same, but, I think that they are aware of the expectations. And I think that this will be the first time that I'll be teaching that class while being observed. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they react to having somebody in the back of the room watching. They might be a little bit better. I've already written my lesson plan. I have a pre and post test. It's not even a test, though. It's actually an evaluation. It's something I have to do part of practicum, but so I'm trying to incorporate that so I can get it done. But I'm hopeful. I'm actually really excited because I'm trying like a couple different things. Like instead of them sitting in their seats and like just singing along, we're trying to like focus on blending, and we want them to improve on their confidence level of their parts, because they have some, like, the one song specifically has a lot of, like, every part is different, and they're moving at different times. So that, like, 4 independent, vocal lines moving at different times.
Wow.
So we want them to be confident on that, because that's the only way you can sing that, is if, like, you know your vocal line as if it's the melody kind of thing.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm having each section stand in circles around the room. So, like, bass is here, soprano's here, tenor's here. And then we're going through their parts like that so they can hear each other around them.
Oh.
And we're breaking it down into different sections of the song and having them sing it repeatedly over and over again. And then I'm mixing the boys together, so the basses and tenors in a circle together, the sopranos, altos circle together.
Okay.
Doing the same concept in different parts of the song. And then eventually the goal is that we'll be in one large circle around the room, all in mixed formation, singing the independent lines at the same time. That's the goal.
So it's like scaffolding.
Yes, exactly. That's the right word. That's the great educational word.
We learned psychology too.
Yes, scaffolding. So, yes. So that's the goal. So I'm kind of excited to do something different with them instead of just, sit here and, sing along. But
have you ever in the past lessons, have you ever introduced something new to the classroom?
Yes.
With, say, this particular class.
Yes, I have.
And how is their how do they react to something new being introduced in the classroom?
These students are a lot more open to trying new things, which is good for me. My last class from Monday, not so much. They do not like trying new things. They don't like me coming and doing different things than what my teacher does, and but this class is a little bit different. They're the advanced choir, so their ability is higher, and also their like I said, they know the expectations better. They get a little full of themselves sometimes because they know that they're good. But other than that, they're not too bad.
I still detect fondness when you say that.
They are good.
Yeah.
They are. But yeah. So I'm looking forward to working with them, and I hope that my process I think is well thought out. I just hope it's executed properly, and I hope I can adjust, make adjustments as I'm going, if they need more attention on something, a certain part, and trying to stay quick-paced, and because I want them to fill out the evaluation at the end of the class, too, so I need to... Time management is a hard thing, planning lessons.
Yeah.
So working on that, I'm more hopeful, more optimistic for tomorrow. And also my professor, Dr. Leslie, she's observing me this time and not the other person. So I'm a little more hopeful with her.
Yeah.
So.
And when you're talking about time management, is that like you, when you're not in class and you're trying to plan your own lessons, or are you talking about time management within the classroom?
Within the classroom. Yeah, writing out the lesson plan and then making sure that you either allotted enough time, or because I've had a few times where I've written lessons and then when I actually taught them, not that I ran out of time, I had time left. I was 10 or 15 minutes. I was like, oh man, what do I do? We finished the lesson. What do I do?
Yeah, it's a little panicking thought. What do we do? How can we be productive?
Yeah. But this time, I'm really worried because I don't want to go over because I want them to be able to finish the evaluation. So it's very hard. I feel like it's just an art form that once you've been teaching forever, you can figure out, hopefully. But it's always different with how the class reacts. And every student is different. And every class is different. And so...
And you said that you wanted to execute it well. what do you plan on doing to make sure that you execute it well?
Well, one of my goals is to be really quick paced.
Okay.
Pace. Yeah. That's always a goal of mine. No matter what lesson, because it's a management thing. Not for my own sake, but in keeping the class engaged. It's if you are quick paced and quick transitions, you keep their attention. It's easier to kind of control what's happening instead of having a lot of downtime where they can like start to lose track and stuff. So quick paced is always the first thing that I do, but this time I just really want to stay on task. So, not taking, 15 minutes on one section. I don't want to allot that much time just to like working with one section, but just making sure that. But at the same time, I need to adapt to make sure that they actually are getting it. I don't want to keep moving on if they're not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see. But I have my own predictions. I think they are talented enough to do what I want them to do in the amount of time that I want them to do it. It's a matter of whether they are focused enough to do that, I think, with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said they get full of themselves sometimes, and so they can be easily distracted. And so it'll be interesting. I felt like the last time that I had taught a lesson to them, I personally thought that they were pretty good with me, so I like working with them. I like working with the big choir.
Yeah.
And they actually sing, so that helps too, because one of my big struggles in the other class is that a lot of them don't even want to sing.
Yeah.
Which is hard when you're in choir class.
Yeah, it sounds like that's defeating the purpose of the class.
Yeah.
I can see how that could be frustrating, and also it's like disrespectful at times.
Yeah.
So if you always have being quick pace as a goal, have you have you implemented that in the classroom before being quick paced, and how did that turn out?
I think in the past I've done a pretty good job of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the reasons why in a couple past lessons I've run out of time is because of me being like, okay, we gotta move on, and which is good, but it just means that I think in my planning I need to prepare for. I think in my lesson plans I just need to add more.
Okay.
And like realize that because I'm quick paced, that I actually get through my lesson plan faster than what I think I might get it through. And I think also nerves sometimes play into that. When like you're nervous, you tend to talk faster, or you try to get things done quicker. Because you kind of want to be over with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to be quick paced, but I have another management strategy that I use for the classes, because sometimes they can be very talkative. So, there's two strategies that I use when I just want to get stuff done and I don't like want to sit and wait, which is like, one is just like, clap once if you can hear me, that thing.
Yeah.
Or you do this thing called like, it's like, shh, 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 and then they repeat it back.
Yeah.
Shh, 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 and then once everybody is, which can be effective. But the thing that I've learned that is most effective, which I think helps stop what is happening over a longer period of time, is if they're talking, I will sit and wait until there's complete silence, and then kind of redirect them and say, this did not require talking. That took, how many minutes, you need to change that, kind of thing. Because it makes them uncomfortable, and it makes them realize that, like, I mean business. That's what it makes them realize that, their cooperation is important and is a necessity to the class and to the success of the class. And I am not going to talk over them, and I'm not going to let half of them talk while I continue with instruction because it's rude. And so I think implementing that over, like, always doing that makes them less likely to do it in the future. Mm-hmm. Where the other ones, it's just kind of like a, oh yeah, sorry, like a reminder. But I think that latter one is more effective. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when you really have to get things done and you don't have time, you kind of just have to resort to the other ones. It's hard because it's not my own classroom.
Yeah.
If it was my own classroom and I had these kids from day one and I could kind of do whatever I wanted and could establish how I wanted to run my class, it would be different. I don't think I would have to worry as much about the talking, but this is not my classroom, it's somebody else's, and I have to respect that, and I have to understand that these students are used to a different style, mm-hmm. So I have to try to incorporate a way to make them realize, hey, this is me, we're doing it differently, we need to focus, kind of thing. Right. But,
yeah, you realize that you don't have total control over not only like a classroom, but like you're only there 2-3 times a week.
3 times a week, yeah.
3 times a week, and you came in during later, so it wasn't your classroom from day one. So you realize that there's several different factors, but I love how you start saying like, oh, I'm going to use like these different techniques, but I realize overall for long-term effectiveness, making them sit in silence is what will make them more of a long-term solution. Yeah. And do you see it like I have the words. Do you see it kind of carrying over in different parts? Like, does it affect your relationship for the better, or like how does it affect your relationship?
Yeah, I think over a long period of time, especially being a young teacher, being a new teacher, especially working with the high schoolers, where I'm not all that much older than they are. Like, some of these kids are 18, and I'm only 21. You know, we don't have, like, a huge gap. But, so, I think over a longer period of time, I think this is what they kind of tell you, like, it's better to be kind of hard at first, you know, to be more strict, mm-hmm. you know, more like, this is how it is, this is the structure, be very consistent with everything that you do, because you can always kind of pull back later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can always lighten up once you have gained the respect. But it's really hard and near impossible to gain respect after you've let them do whatever you want. And, like, you know, it's you can't start soft and then all of a sudden get hard.
Mm-hmm. Because then they'll go, what the
They're
heck?
like, what do you mean? Like, this is how we've been doing it this whole time, and they will be mad at you, they won't like you, mm-hmm. And they will not respect you. Mm-hmm. So you need to demand respect at day one, recognizing that you also respect them, mm-hmm. and that you also respect their time, mm-hmm. and that, to me, community and the idea of community is a big deal. And so in my classroom, I think music is just a community in itself, but the music program, the choir program, the band program, mm-hmm. whatever it is, that's a community. And in a community, and in my community that I establish, you know, in my classroom, we respect one another. Mm-hmm. We have certain procedures, certain things are done a certain way, and there are high expectations. And everybody is clear about those things from day one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, like, even it kind of goes back to the whole singers thing, where I wanted to build up a community, because for the longest time, it wasn't a community. And so, like, trying to build up this sense of, like, although weren't in the choir that you wanted to be in, it doesn't mean that we're any less of them. It doesn't mean that we're any less talented. And, you know, it just so happens that there's 2 choirs. Mm-hmm. And, hey, why don't we do something to make us different? And so, like, building up a community in singers. And so, I don't know, I just really like the idea of building up a community and having people want to feel, like, safe in a classroom. And I think a way to build security and make them feel safe is through the concept of community. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. No, that those are very strong values that just affect so many different ways to build, you know, your students and respect is a two-way street, and community, it takes every single person to help make that, but it sounds like you are really pushing, like, with singers and all your different practicums and student teaching that, you know, you're not going to compromise on that you're doing that, and then with your goals, although, yeah, for your observation tomorrow, you said that, you know, for your whole scaffolding, like, technique that you're going to do it, you know, you said that you were going to, you know, kind of do a good time management, but also recognize when a student or group of students need help on that, and that to help develop them in that skill, and then how do you think your interaction with your professor who's observing you will go?
I think my interaction with her will be fine, because she's the person who's always observed me in the past, and I think she knows me really well, and so I'm not concerned. I think it'll be fine. I just, that last time with somebody else who I don't think that they fully knew the caliber of the situation. And so that was different. But I think she'll be good. And
No, your goals are and techniques are pretty sound, and you even corrected yourself, like I mentioned earlier, that you recognize that these techniques for time management are good, but then you're like, well, I realize that this long term is better, so yeah, just continue to implement that. Sounds good. Yeah, and do you have anything else? Okay, well, I will see you next week, Lydia.
All
it was
right.
great talking to you.
It's good talking to you.
Oh no, it's still going. Sorry.